Hey everyone, thanks for coming out. I know everyone here has been impacted in various ways by the fires and the events of the last week. I said it out there and I'll say it again. So many people have lost so much, and we 100% recognize that sports and athletics are not bigger than those real world things. And at the same time, I think what is incredibly important at this time is community. And even people who have lost a ton of things have said that the feeling of community is what they want. And so for our staff and everyone to go forward with this game, we appreciate people coming out. We appreciate the opportunity to help the community in that way, to give people 2 hours of joy. And we continue to support our own community in whatever ways that we can. But tonight, to see so many people here was really heartening, and I think a positive thing for our community. I thought our players came out and did our best to represent as well as as well as we can. I think that run at the plays that were difficult to guard when we're clicking on all cylinders, and that was good. And there's some film for us to look at of what we can do better defensively. I thought Penn State really came out here and fought. We appreciate that they, believed enough in the systems to come, and they gave us a good run, and we had to, play as well as we could to get some separation. So.
Juju, first and foremost, what's up? For many, sports is a way of escape, and a lot of people draw hope and inspiration from it. Being from Los Angeles, a lot of people look to you as one of the figures that represents Los Angeles. Being from LA, what does the city mean to you, and what words of hope and inspiration do you have for the people who have lost their homes?
Yeah, I think it means so much, especially being out here on the floor tonight. This week has been hard for LA, for me too. Just hearing about the stories. People I know were affected by it as well. So it's just really been heavy on our hearts, and we've been doing the best we can to kind of stay locked in and have as much positivity as possible. But I guess I would say, this will pass. I think the biggest thing for us and for the community is just to have faith and hope that things will get better. And we're super grateful for our firefighters who are, risking their lives on the line to keep us protected. So, yeah, it's just a lot going on in the city, and, we're going to do everything we can to help out from a philanthropy aspect. But, yeah, we're just trying to, like Coach said, trying to spread positivity in the community right now through what we do. And, yeah.
Back to that Kiki, do you have family or friends that were affected, and just kind of, how is this play like you see in your hometown? Can you story about that?
Yeah, so I'm from the Valley, so with the Valley fires, my family hasn't been directly affected, but indirectly, a lot of people close to me have lost their homes or had to evacuate. So I think, Ju and Coach G kind of touched on it, but just truly trying to spread positivity, do all that we can with donations, and I'm very prayerful, so I'm really into that as well. But understanding that we're very blessed to come here today and play basketball, and if we can put a smile on people's faces for 2 hours, or give them an escape to kind of get away from everything that's going on right now, we're super grateful to do that.
Juju, going off of what you were talking about, you've said you play best when you're just having fun, you're playing with joy. Obviously, maybe hard to have that joy right now, just in general. What was your mentality tonight, knowing that people were going to be coming here?
Yeah, I just think it as a great opportunity to just, like you said, have fun. Like you've been saying, vibes are kind of down here in LA, so I think our goal was to just kind of put on a show and entertain people for a couple of hours. And I think I kind of took pride in that as well, in my performance.
Charlie?
This is for all three. Piggybacking off what everybody said, but talk about how what's going on in that environment, how that affecting as far as from
I mean, I would just say from the leadership standpoint, when this all, began, when we were on the road, I just encouraged them the best I could to be present with what we were doing. We're all aware that basketball is not more important than what's going on, but in those moments to do what we do as well as we can is admirable, and I think allows other people a chance just to take a break. I couldn't believe how many texts I got after the Maryland game where people who were in it were saying, this was the best 2 hours I've had, in a while just watching. And so coming back, again, we try to communicate with our players as possible that obviously health and safety is always number one, that they've done a great job in this building, the air quality is perfect in here, that communicating on we're never going to put them in a situation that's not safe. It's okay to then come and focus on basketball for these, 2 hours of practice or whatever it might be. So our approach has been to always make them aware that there's bigger stuff going on around us, but giving them just sort of the ability to lock in on what they're doing while they're doing it. And that has an importance as well in their community. And I think they've really bought into that.
Kahari, and then the Great Sweatshirt.
Can you kind of ask me a question? When you and Juju are clicking on all Sundays, like, can you talk about how does that elevate the team and everyone get better? So you guys playing at a high level.
Yeah, I think one, like playing with Juju, she's like very infectious with the way she plays. So when she's going hard, when she's like, amped up, it kind of like flows with the rest of the team. So I think for myself, I'm just trying to match that as well. But it's not just us. Like I think Kennedy, Avery, like everybody, people on the bench, like everybody is kind of really like bought in, all in, and that kind of gets us pumped up as well. So I wouldn't say it's one or two players that are like clicking on all cylinders. I think it's kind of like a group effort, and we all just like build off of each other.
Good question for all three. Games like this tonight, how do you use big leads to prepare for the rest of the season and to get to the
And one thing we've talked about is approaching every possession with the same kind of determination. I think we have a team sometimes because of our high standards that, wants to do everything all at once. And I've said it's okay to not have a lot of separation. You got to still fight on the next possession. But when we can go on one of those runs and use our explosiveness offensively and get leads, now then, we want to continue to learn how to not be nice to anyone, how to make stops, time and again, how to play with the lead. And a lot of it is still a learning process, but it's fun to do it with a group that's really bought in and trying to improve all the time and who just has a high standard for themselves. So obviously we want to build leads and that we want to extend them, but that run in the second quarter was impressive, and we know we have the ability to do that, and then it's just really understanding our power to then continue to do that possession after possession.
Armand, Luca, and then last question for Troy.
So, Coach, a lot of the stats they kind of they read, when it comes to like offensive rebounds and
Yep.
all that stuff. But one stat in particular is points off turnovers.
Yep.
You guys read. How important is it for this game and any game, especially in conference play and in tournament play, to lead in that stat and get defensive to offensive transitions?
Yeah, I think we want to play up tempo and in transition as much as possible. I think a really important stat here is that we had 22 assists to only 11 turnovers. If we're 2-1 in an assist to turnover ratio, we're going to win a lot of games because we believe we can score if we don't give the ball back to the other team. And then we're also really, I think, understanding ways that we can be disruptive and turn people over. So sometimes it's our full court press. Sometimes it's just switching everybody and being disruptive. Sometimes it's, we were trying to put as much pressure on the ball handlers as we could. So yeah, I think the team is really buying into being disruptive and playing in transition on our end, but also if we can keep from turning it over, I think we believe in our offense and our first and second attempts at the rim.
For both, for you, in general, what are things that you guys have learned about each other from the basketball or life standpoint in the course of the last few months? Maybe it took some time to figure out, but clicking now.
Yeah, I think just playing with each other. We didn't really get to play a lot with each other in the summer, so we've kind of been learning on the fly, like, pick and roll actions. But I think I'm getting pretty comfortable with, like, where does she like screens, like where is the pocket going to be for myself, and likewise, I think you'll see in the game, like, we're always talking to each other, like, she'll say, I see this, like, if I'm asking about a pass or things like that. So I think our communication is something that's getting much, much better, and it's going to continue to improve. But I think, honestly, just, like, every single day, continuing to play with each other, we've just kind of grown that chemistry with each other.
much the fact that they kind of come here with open arms, and it's truly a sisterhood. So to see them come out and support it, it means so much, especially with all that's going on in LA. So yeah, it means the world, and we hope that we kind of carry on that legacy that they've built.
Yeah, and just to add on, just like from like a non-basketball standpoint, since the moment that I got here, like things off the court, if I need to just talk about life or anything that I want to do outside of basketball, they've been there from the jump, and it's very genuine. So I think that's something that probably is the biggest thing that I've loved about coming to USC so far, is how involved and how welcoming and how, you know, open the alumni are to us.
Just one shout out on it. We had a woman in the locker room after, and you know, we have so many incredible alumni, the Mount Rushmore of women's basketball. But there was a woman in the locker room named Sherry Nelson, who quite honestly I'd never met before, and she held the scoring record at USC for a very long time with a 50-point game. And she told us that she'd been reading about how well we're doing and wanted to come and meet Juju and meet the team. And then her mom lost her home in Altadena this past week, her 98-year-old mom. And obviously with dealing with that, you know, it's probably up in the air if they were going to come. And her mom said, no, I want to go see the USC women's team play. And so to have them in the locker room was really special. Just a really neat thing for our team.
Thank you guys.